Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another Facebook Live. It's Monday. Can you believe it already? It is hard to work it out that it's come so quick, but Monday it is. So I hope the weather's nice and warm where you are. At the moment, it's quite windy here today. Oops, I better put my volume off because you don't want to have an echo, do you? So, anyway, my name's Anita Mazzero and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Horsham, Victoria, Australia. Not to be confused with Horsham in the UK. So here today, it's warmer than it's been, but the wind is quite strong. And at times, like when I went for my walk earlier, I found it was quite bitter. If you're in the shade, you really felt it. So we're here again, as I said, it's Monday live time, and it's another day to get going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you today a Z-fold card, but a uniquely different style of Z-fold card. Well, at least I think it is anyway. So you may have seen it before. It might be an old one that I didn't see. Doesn't matter how long you're a demonstrator, you always see something old come back up again and you think, oh, I've never seen that before. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to pop the camera down and we're going to have a look. Let me know if you're watching. I'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to hit the like button. As I said, if the live button's there, you're watching it live on Facebook. If you're watching the replay on Facebook, please let me know. And you can also see the replay on YouTube. And on YouTube, if you're watching there, I'd love you to subscribe and to tick the like button. It all helps. So we'll pop the camera down and we will get going. I've got a bit to show you. I'll get there. Pop it down. Just where it is for you. There we go. Okay. Now I've got it right, I hope. You don't want to see my messy desk. Our 50% off sale. What have we got? 7 days left to purchase anything. So it's products, suites, or products from the product suites. So you buy one, you get one 50% off. The lower price one will be the one that we'll get. So if, for instance, you liked a paper, where's my sweets? I'll just open up this one, for instance. If you like the paper and the dots, for instance, you will get the dots at half price. You can buy 2 suites and that will give you one of them, whichever is the lower price one, at half price. Great offer to get. You don't want to miss out on it because, 50% is 50%. And it's, as I said, 7 days left. Next Monday will be the last day of this. So don't forget that. I'll remind you again next Monday that it's the last day. Just pop onto my online shop and I'll put the link in the description a bit later so that you can shop online. And if you're new and you haven't shopped online, don't forget when you create your account to click the rewards program. Say yes to the rewards program, because that means for once you've hit $35, everything above $35 you get 10% off. And so it adds up. And you don't have to use it straight away. You can keep it and use it down the track. You have 12 months in which to use it. So unfortunately, if you buy from me direct and I put it through for you, unless you have an account, it's not going to show up for you and I cannot keep track of it. So we'll do that. So anyway, what I'll do is that's our great thing. So that's not only on catalogue products. It's also our online store, last chance items, anything that's a sweet product in any of those formats, go for it. Great way to do it. So we'll pop that out of the way. Now, on the weekend, those of us who were demonstrators got to have a sneak peek at a product that is being used in the September to December catalogue. And it's called the Peaceful Garden Suite. And this was one of the cards that we made. And I've made them as they have said on the catalogue, on the day, because I wanted to make them as they say, and then I will look at them and think, how can I revamp them and make something different? Because, so this is a very, very simple one with 3 strips, and I've got a bit of colouring going through each of the strips. We've torn 2 of them. I've got 2 sets of leaves. The second one we've blended. Got my beautiful, I don't know if you can see that on there. Look at those beautiful little flower dots that we've got. So beautiful. And even though this is quite a simple card, for a sympathy card, I think this is perfect. It is absolutely gorgeous. So that's number 1 card that we did. Then we made another one, which is a card that can be used for anyone that, heartfelt prayers. Mine's slightly different here because I had ended up with a little bit of a gap due to the fact that I had the card upside down and I had glue up here, and I thought, how do I cover it? Just move this up and make a bit of a gap. It's got a little pocket there saying sending love, and embossing the glimmer paper. Look at that glimmer, and the gorgeous, gorgeous ribbon. So a gorgeous little card there. Then we made this one, and this is a really unusual one. So as you can see, we've got the embossing folder in the background, the label die that's in there. Again, if you can see in the background, that beautiful bit of glimmer paper. There's 3 shades in the glimmer paper, and this is one of the 2 of the dies in this one. And then this opens like so. And look, isn't that a gorgeous? No, I didn't colour the die. I should have done that. I didn't do it. And this is what happens if you press too hard on designer series paper. You cut it because it's so fine. But I do like this card, and it's really lovely. And then we made an envelope. What a great way to have a card and a matching envelope that you can get together and give to someone, and it all teams. And you just need a piece of white cardstock or a white label on there, and there's your card, and it's just beautiful, that. Then we made this cute, cute little box, and it was so simple. Open it up, lift it there, and voila, it's a box that you can put anything in. A very simple box. Not a lot of work to it, and it just closes on itself, and the label, and then we've stuck that to tie around. And again, it's using that beautiful cloud cover glimmer paper. Well, I can see a lot of uses for that glimmer paper. It comes in Secret Sea, cloud cover, and I'm not sure if it's a misty moonlight or an azure afternoon. It's quite a bright blue. And then we did one as a team. We all got together, which was lovely. But then we all liked one design that was shown to us. So we made it into a piece of home decor. And this is in a frame, and it's all die-cut leaves. I've used the Secret Sea glimmer paper, the cloud cover glimmer paper, the 2-tone cloud cover paper. So I've got different shadings in there of light and dark, which is great about the 2-tone. And I probably might still add to this. I haven't decided. I mean, I threw this together, and then the more I look at it, the more I think I'd like to add something more to it. And that's the beauty, I can. And if not, I can make another one. So I'll do that. I hope everyone can see me now. I just haven't seen any comments, so I'm hoping people are watching. So if you're out there, girls, please let me know you're watching. Right. Now today, as I said, I'm going to do a Z-fold card, but it's a different style of Z-fold. I'm going to get my trimmer, and I might have to bring my camera out a bit. Whoops, wrong way. Work it out. Come on. Facebook have made changes, and okay, we'll just, okay, that should be all right. Raise it up a bit. Okay. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of A4 cardstock, and I've got shaded spruce. Not a colour I would use a lot, except maybe at Christmas time. So I'm going to cut that to the height of our card that we would normally do when we're doing a normal A6 card. So this is at 14.9. So as you can see, we've got great markers, and I've got this butted up against the edge, that down so you can see. So it's butted at the edge of the trimmer, so along there. And if you make sure it's butted correctly along here, it will be straight. A great way of doing straight card cuts. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to trim that down to 14.9. Now I'm going to take the arm, and that's the other beauty of our trimmers, is the arm is nice and long. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to pop that up at 10.5, and now I'm going to use my scoring tool, and I'm going to score at 10.5. Then I'm going to slide it along to 20 centimetres, and I'm going to score it again. And then I'm going to slide it along to 28 centimetres, and I'm just going to trim it. And this is a good way, if you've got to cut something. Hi, Jacinta. Oh, you've just got home. Hope you had a great weekend. So this was a great way if you've got something that you've got to cut down. If you want to make sure that your your measurements are right, when you cut it afterwards, you know that you should have had the folds correct. So as I said, 10.5, so we're 14.9, the width of an A4. So 10.5, 20 centimetres, and cut at 28 centimetres. So 14.9 by 28 centimetres with 10.5 and 20 as the mark. I'm glad you had a great weekend. Right. Now what I want to do is I'll leave that here. I'm going to take my ruler, and on the end, which is only the 8 centimetre end, I'm going to measure, and I love my centre ruler because it's got inches and centimetres, but it also means I can just centre it where I'd like it. So I'm going to pop that with the 0 at the bottom, and nice and straight. I'm going to get my pencil, and I'm just going to mark 8 centimetres. So it's not half. Now, you can do two things. You can just go ahead and cut. Or you can do, which I like to do to help my cutting correctly, is I mark 8 centimetres this side as well. And it's probably a little bit hard. I don't know whether you can see the little marks that I've got on there because it's a dark colour. So I'm then going to take from one 8 centimetre mark to the other, and I'm going to put a line across. So you can see, I hope you can see that line there. So we're going to cut to there. Now you can cut that off there, Then what we're going to do, and this is where I don't mind putting the pencil marks on because you can guarantee a straight cut. So I've got my pen and I'm holding it where the 8 centimetre mark is, and then I'm taking that right up to this fold up here, to the second score mark, and I'm going to put a line down there. So as you can see, I've got a line down to there and then there, the 8 centimetre mark. Now we're going to trim that. If you're using a trimmer and just not putting the marks on, I would suggest you cut at 8 centimetres, trim that off, and then do the diagonal, because I don't think it, my personal opinion, I don't think it would work. So I'm going to do that from here. So this is what you would do if you didn't want to use your ruler and put marks. So I'm taking my score blade, which has got a marker, and I'm lined that up with the fold, and I'm going to go across. And there's my 8 centimetre. So then I would take the score line and go down to the cut mark. Take that off. Then from the score line there down to where we've cut, we're going to trim. We're going to make sure it's straight, and we're trimming that right off. And there's your mark. If you've got pencil marks still showing, just gently remove them. And that's our base. So we're going to fold it, a valley fold and a mountain fold. And what trimmer, even though I've got a new blade, is for some unknown reason leaving little marks. So I'm just going to give that, and I can still see some pencil marks that I don't want in there. So put these out of the way. So that's our card base. So as you can see, it's got a gap there and a gap there, and that's what I want to look at. So we're going to burnish these folds. Now I've got some Duckling for a layer. So I've got a piece of 10 centimetres by 14.4 for the back of it. I'm going to glue as we go along. So let's pop that down. And I'm just going to lay that, because I've got a 5 centimetre border, so it's just a nice little border all the way around. And then I've got a piece of the Turtley Awesome Designer Series paper, and I've taken this lovely dotty, spotty one, and I'm going to adhere that to the inside. And just pop that. And that is 9.5 by 14.1, and it looks like I've cut that in correctly. Really smart. So I'm going to get a white, because I don't want glue on my... Just take the white and take that bit of glue off, because I need to trim it. The cutting fairy wasn't behaving itself. And it should be 9.5, but for some reason it was a little bit wider. And it is. I must have cut that just a fraction. So I'll take that little piece off. I should have double checked this before I glued it. That looks a bit better. Yeah, of course it is. You know, had the right measurements, it will work. I'm going to glue that one on there. So the insert was, the first layer was 10 centimetres by 14.4. And the second layer is 9 centimetres by 14.1. So we've got that down. So that's the background of our card. Now I've got a piece of 8.8 and that's going to fit in there. So I've had to work out the measurement that this is going to be and work out that. So what I did, hello Cherry, how are you today? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this where I want this to sit. Make sure my margins, but I've got it flush at the bottom. And this is the way I have found works for me when I'm doing anything on a slant. I'm going to turn that over. I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to mark where I want it. And then I'm going to trim it. Because we want that to be a nice fold. So there it is there. So it fits perfectly there and it flush there. So I'm going to take off 0.5 centimetre off the bottom. Just a small smidgen. And that will lay in there perfectly. Now, so you may do it a different way, but this is what I found worked for me. So I'm going to glue this piece down and pop that in there. Now it's got its nice little border. I'm going to leave this piece for a moment. And then I'm going to repeat the process with the next piece, which is also 8.8 by 14.4. So I'm going to put that, I'll lay that flat, make sure that it's where I want it to go. I'm using that point up there. I want to go through. I'm going to take that and trim that off. Now, I mean, you could measure and mark, but you'd only have to be 1 millimetre out and it would throw your measurements. So before I go any further, I'm checking it to make sure it fits where I want it to fit, and that is correct. And I'm just going to take 0.5 centimetre off the bottom. And that gives me my even border all the way around, like so. Call it a cheats method? Yeah, it probably is, but it's what works for me. If you saw the amount of pieces of cardstock I wasted just trying to get this correct in the first place by marking and then trying to get the angle, because this particular angle is quite a different angle, and that's why I've done that. So now in this piece I've got a piece of designer series paper which is 8.3 by 14.1, and again I'm going to lay this, and because it's a busy pattern on the front, I'm just going to lay this where it's roughly going to go, flip it over and get my pencil, just making sure that I've got that, got it straight, because I want that little it's got it. I'm going to trim that. So take that, trim, and I'm going to flip that over, have a look at it, and now I need to take a little bit off. This time I'm going to take about 0.8 of a centimetre off, just to make sure that I haven't gone too far. And that was plenty. So now I can glue that piece in place. Just clear up these pieces. This Totally Awesome paper is absolutely lovely. So I've only got a little bit from a leftover paper share. And this card lent itself beautifully to me using the paper. Okay, now we've got our little 8-inch square. So I've got a Darling Duckling piece, 7.5 by 7.5. So I'm going to glue that down. And put that nicely in the centre. And this is how our Z fold will look. This area is to allow you to write. And I mean, if you wanted to put something there, you can. You could put a sentiment or a die cut or a stamped image or whatever you wish to put in that spot. So what I'm going to do now, before I do anything further, I've got my white piece. And we've got to do with the white. Boy, did that not land. I must have bumped that because that's not very straight. So I need to measure this just like we've done with the others. And it's going to be a bit wonky, but I will fix that up later. I'm going to cut that to fit the same. So again, using that, just lining up my mark in my trimmer, taking that piece out. And look at that, and I work out, what I do is I look at it and I see where I want it to sit. Now you can take your little ruler and say, okay, how much of a centimetre do you want that up? So I'm going to go 0.8 again, like I did on the other one, the other side. I'm just going to take 0.8. It's just a fraction over half a centimetre. And I'm going to check that. It fits beautifully. Now I want to stamp on this because I want to do some bits to it before I glue it down. Because there's no good gluing it and making a mistake and then you're stuck with it. So I'm going to take my Totally Awesome, gee, that's a mouthful, isn't it? Totally Awesome stamp set. And there's a lot of little sayings here, like, hope your birthday is totally awesome. Have I got that down far enough? Sorry, here for you always. It's okay to take it slow. Sweet friend, and hooray. So I'm going to use, like, I've die cut some images from the paper. I loved this one on the penny farthing. So what I've done is I've put him on a piece of white cardstock and cut it out because I want it to be solid for the front. And then I've got these little pieces and I thought, oh, little picnic basket, little flowers, so pop that together. And, oh, no, there he is on the floor. I knew I'd lost something. They're only tiny. And I've got a couple of little birds. And I thought, oh, we don't want hair in it, do we? So I thought I'll use the birds. So I'm going to use the word hooray on the front and hope your birthday is totally awesome. So take that one. Grab this stamp. Allow your stamp to relax. Just pop it on your glass mat. or on your grid paper. And I think we'll go with shaded spruce. We'll keep that green theme and pop that. Just ink that up. Move my little bits. And I'm going to just pop that down in the middle. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? I'm going to close this up. And as I said, I've got little bits and pieces. And I'm going to take the glue and I'm going to glue a little picnic basket down because, you know, you can have a picnic for your birthday. You can have anything for your birthday, can't you? I'm going to pop the basket. I might pop the basket about here. I want to pop the flowers just over the top of the basket because the basket is actually sitting behind the flowers. So I'm just going to put a bit of glue, a little bit on each of the flowers. Over. And I'll adhere that into place. And now I'm going to take these little birds. And I thought, one scratching around. I'm going to put that one just like so. So I'm going to let them, you know, just fill up that little corner. Just a tiniest dot of glue underneath there. We'll pop that in place. So, you know, even if you've only got a little bit of paper, you do not need to waste it. As I said, this is a quarter share of paper that I'm using. And I've got enough to play with to make more than one card. So there's all my bits and pieces for that. So now I'm going to sit that inside there. And I think that looks really, really cute. Just going to pop some glue and pop that in place. And there goes that. It's a lovely centfold, but just a nice little unique piece. Now I'm going to grab the Hooray. Grab a block. Put it up the right way so I can see that it will be straight on the block. Now, before I do the centre, I need to look at where I'm going to place the bike. Could go this way, having come off that side, but I'm not keen about that because this is very, very flimsy. So I'm going to have him come like so. And come down even a bit more. And this is why the cardstock's behind it, because it just gives it a little bit of security. And I think the word hooray can go down there. And I'm going to do it in the green as well. Take that off, line it up, make sure it's all nice and straight when you do it, because you don't want it crooked. I'm sorry, I went down off camera a bit. Sorry about that. And there is the word hooray. I'm just looking at my stamps to see if there's something else I can add in there that would look quality gold. Just glue that down. What I was hoping for, it doesn't have in the set, but that's okay. I want to put a few little splatters. So I'm going to take some shaded spruce in my blend. I don't recommend you using your blends, but I'm doing it because I don't have the Stampin' Right marker. I'm just splattering a little bit of colour. Not a lot, just a tiny bit. So I'm going to glue that now down on the page. Oops. Take that. And it's not a hard card to do. It's more getting your cuts right. And once you've done all your trimming and your cutting, you can mass produce this card quite easily. So I'm going to have a look, and I want him sort of skin soaked. So I'm going to get my dimensional. So I want to pop him up. You know. So I'm going to know that the wheels will definitely fill. I'm going to make sure I don't go too far one way. Yeah, I come in and I come up. How high do I want his body? So I'll just have a look. And that's going to fit nicely. No more than there. So I'll just pop. So now if I pop along there, that'll hold it there. And that's all I need. And because it's got the bit of cardstock, I'll fish one out and I'll show you. So there's the bottom of one, but you can see how flimsy that is compared to this. So a good idea is to pop it onto some cardstock. I mean, if I'd been smart, I could have put it on green, but I didn't. So I'll take my backs off. And get rid of those. And I'm going to pop him. Make sure that I don't press on it till I know that I've got it right. And so I'm just going to pop him there. How cute does that look? Now I'm going to dive in. I have got the holographic gems, and I should have pulled them out, so I'm not hunting like I am now. I've got these holographic resin gems. Could use those. Let's have a look. Do I have anything else? This gets tossed and turned and moved around. Or we could use the sequins. And I think I'm going to use the sequins. Looking at them together on this paper, the sequins are really nice. And they're shades of green hexagons. And if I'm right, if I grab my catalogue, which is on the floor here, I'm curious which ones belong to the suite. Okay, it is the hexagons. These do belong to the suite. No wonder they belonged better. If you're purchasing the suite, we were talking about the suite before, you get not only the beautiful paper, but you get the dies, the stamp set. There's a lovely ribbon. The ribbon is like a shaded spruce and soft seafoam. You've got the turtle shell embossing folder and these hexagons. So I'm going to put these. So I bought the hexagons because I like the look of them. Wow. Aren't they great? Look at the colours in them. They're absolutely beautiful. So you've got sort of like a nearly against the white, you can see that they're not quite white. And you've got more of a yellowy shade, and it's just like it's an ombre look of different colours. So I'm going to take some of those. So I think I've got this dark green, so I'm going to pop on just there. And then I might put, really you could go berserk with these. I might put one in there. And I put one in his belly there. And then on this side, I might put a couple of the lighter ones. Why not? Put 1, 2, and 3. So there I've used the 2 different sorts of gems. Now I just want to put some sort of twine on here, and just having a look here of what I've got. I think these are still available. They're certainly on the last chance list. Now that doesn't quite go with that, but I might pick up the that russet tone and do that. So I'm going to find, obviously haven't used this one, so there we go. Pull it out, make it a bit straighter. And I might make a double bow out of it. Like that. My snips. This is a nice twine, this one. I don't remember which suite it came with, but I've used a fair bit of it, and I know I bought 2 lots, and I can't remember what they belonged with. But twine is fabulous. And I didn't get that right, did I? No. There we go. Move that to the middle a bit. There's our twine. So I'm going to get a glue dot and pop that in, because he just needs something on the front. I think we might here I am thinking, can I lift that? Because I actually want it to go in between that wheel. Yes, I can. Look at that. I'm going to sit that in like so, just above that wheel. There we go. Look at that. Perfect. Trim off the excess there. And there he is. Now, you girls know me, Ring Stella. Cannot go anywhere without Ring Stella. Pop a little bit on. Just to make him look good. And there's a great little birthday card. I've got a great-grandson turning 2 in a couple of days, so I think this will be perfect for him. I think it's something he will love. So how sweet is that? And I love the fonts that match beautifully, and I can write in here. And if I want to, I can always put a little piece down here to write further. You know, you can add more if you wish, or you can add to the back. So that's that one. How do you like it? It's uniquely different. And somewhere. I did make one earlier, and I've moved things, set the camera up, and now I've moved things, it's disappeared. Oh, there it is. I did one using the Mediterranean blooms, and that paper is still available if you're interested in it. And so I've done one there, and I've just done it like so. And I haven't put any gems on that one at this stage. So again, there's same card, two very, very different looks just by the paper you use. It is a cute fun fold, Jacinta. It's very different. I've seen where you've gone, zigzag, but the fact that it's a bit square at the front just helps to make it a little bit different. And it certainly allows you to showcase your designer series paper. And yeah, it just adds a little bit of a touch. And looking at our little thing, he's wearing spectacles. And I'm going to put a little bit of wink on his specs because I don't know if you can see it there, but Wink Estella just makes those glasses give like a pop. So there he is. So that's it for today. Quick and simple. And I'm sure that you'll have a lot of fun if you do make this card. It's very easy. So card height, which is our 14.9 by 28 centimetres, score it at 10.5 and 20 centimetres. And then you do the cuts, which is what I used was 8 centimetres and mark that across to there. And then from the 8 centimetres to the fold. And that was it. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing if you make it, what you do, and pop it up on my page, because I'd love to see what you do with it, because everybody will come up with something different. And you like that fold cherry. Yeah, it's very different. Like I'd not seen it before. I'm just trying to think. And the name of the lady that I saw escapes me, so I apologise for that. I came across her by accident, and hers were in imperial measurements, so of course it meant I had to do a little bit of changes to get it to our measurements. And but I loved what she did, and I thought, and the different papers create totally different looks. I didn't have a lot of time yesterday, so had I had more time, I would have probably made a couple more. She did her cutting of the angles very differently. She marked and then measured where it had to go. I tried that, and it just didn't work. I was measuring to the point, which was creating a very different, what I was saying is, like my piece of paper, I had my mark, and was measuring from the point to this point, but it was not the same cut because it was different inside. So anyway, I'll say thank you for watching me today, and don't forget our Sweets 50% off sale. Buy one, get one 50% off. 7 days to go. Sorry, today's the 23rd. So that it finishes on the 30th of June, which is the end of the month. So I will catch you all next week, and we'll do something new. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.